BoardGameGeek's continuing coverage from the Spiel 2019. I'm joined this time by Philip from Osprey Games, and we are going to be taking out some trash with Judge Dredd. And Judge Dredd, Helter, Skelter by Martin Wallace?
Absolutely.
Cool. Please show me how this works.
So, for those of you familiar with Wildlands, this is essentially a version of Wildlands with the Judge Dredd theme attached. So there will be some tweaks, but it'll be very familiar to those players. And in fact, it's not just Judge Dredd. The idea is that throughout the 2000 AD comics, especially in Judge Dredd, reality is warped over and over again by people traversing between the dimensions, whether that's the Dark Judges or whoever it might be. And what's happened is that finally the barriers between realities have collapsed. So not only is Mega City 1 falling to pieces, we also have Nikolai Danta, Slain, and Strontium Dog are all in this massive brawl, and they're all trying to save their own reality.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the game, you're going to be placing these fragments of reality onto the board.
Okay.
And the game is, as in Wildlands, it's very simple. First to 5 points. For each of your own fragments you manage to restore, you get 1 point. And for each enemy character you manage to kill, 1 point as well. First to 5, as before.
Okay.
Very simple.
That keeps it really brisk and moving.
Exactly. At the beginning of the game, each player will be given 10 map cards. They just correspond to the numbers all the way over here.
Okay.
If you're playing, you'll be using all of them, but if you're playing with only 2 players, you won't actually have access to the map cards right on the edge, so the board's just a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And with those 10, you're going to assign 5 to your characters to secretly deploy them later on. That just means that later, you reveal that card and place that character in that space.
Yep.
So the other players won't know where your character starts. The remaining 5 you're going to pass the player to your right, and that's where they are going to place their fragments. So you decide where your characters go, where your opponent's fragments go. So these will be strewn out across the board. And basically, this is primarily a hand management game. Each of the 4 factions have a unique 30-card deck specific to them. You'll have a hand of cards that looks, something like this. That's
has all
a
the
good
options
selection.
that they have available.
Exactly, that'll give you more sense, that type of thing. And from those 7 cards, on your turn, you can play as many as you want to, one by one, to do various actions. Right. But at the end of your turn, you only ever got to draw 3. Actions will do everything from doing. Again, is this the best one to show you? Yeah. To do melee attacks, to do sort of support action, range attacks, and these will be the combination of which will be both specific to the characters with the character symbols attached, but also specific to the factions.
Represented right up there.
Exactly. And each card will have lots of different options. When I play that card, I'm going to decide, am I going to use this to move this character, or do a melee attack, or maybe do a support act with someone else. And those same cards are also what power my defenses when someone else attacks me.
Right. So if you burn through all of your cards, you may be hurting your own defense.
Exactly.
As well.
You'll be very vulnerable to other players. And basically, as people familiar with Wildlands, I think very much of this will feel very familiar. One of the things that is new is that each team will have some characters that have special abilities. So for the judges, some of them have high explosive ammo, so they can do area attacks at longer range.
Oh, okay.
Slain, for example, can go berserk and transform into a much bigger version of himself, become even more deadlier, and that type of thing. And we have some new actions, but otherwise, it's very familiar. Just a little bit more polished and slick based on our experience with the game and player feedback. And it combines. So we have 5 different comic artists that all worked on the comics that we're using here, involved in the process as well. So
that's cool.
It's a really nice project.
Nice. And just like the original Wildlands, there's also different terrain levels represented on the map that affect area sight and such as well?
Exactly. So you have, on this side of the map, you have high ground, which obviously gives you an advantage both in terms of line of sight. And on the other side of the map, which I won't show now because there's stuff on it, you have falls, which are just spaces you can't move over unless you can fly, but you can shoot over and see over.
Very cool. So where is this in terms of its production and availability?
So this is both available at show and in general release in about a week.
Excellent.
And generally available.
Cool. And what's the price point going to be?
So it's £60, 65 euros, $80. I never remember these things. Sorry.
I'm going to say you're absolutely close. Well, that is great. And if you want to find out more information about this game, including maybe more accurate information on its US dollar price, be sure to check out its BoardGameGeek page and its page on Osprey Games website. And in the meantime, thank you, Philip, for sharing this with us. And we'll have more covers from this field coming up real soon.